Was geht, meine lieben Freunde und Leon? Herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer neuen der Haus- und Fata Morgana Let's Play. Und wir sind heute in der judenalten 58. Episode angelangt. Letztes Mal so endlich ein bisschen mal chillen gemacht. Und hier neuer Soundtrack haben wir letztes Mal schon gesagt. Mal schauen, ob der passt ist. Ich würde ehrlich gesagt sagen, bisher so. Ja.
Hört sich ein bisschen so irisch oder so an, keine Ahnung.
Ja, kann man so retromäßig da anfangen, aber jetzt ist anders. Kann man schauen, Freunde. Jetzt geht weiter, let's go. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day following our opening up to each other. Die haben ein Opening.
Back Opening.
Ja, Fata Morgana Opening.
Vielleicht gibt es so Family Opening, das ist super, wenn wir durch sind, ne?
Ja, probably not. Maybe this was normal. And I had simply never felt it before. I didn't know. I thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail. But here I was, a day later, already there. Was that how it usually works? Did people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. All that friction had dissipated in an instant. And it was like we had known each other for years. Though not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I had always done by myself.
Hey, I see you shoving aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything.
Do you have any idea why there was so much rotting parsnip in the cellar? I don't care for it. It's nothing to me.
You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh. You're not a kid, so don't be so picky.
Ja, ich meine, er ist seit 10 Jahren allein am Leben, hat ihn keiner erzogen.
Not good for you.
Ich frage mich auch, wie alt er ist. Wie young ist auch, ne? Hasn't caused any problems thus far.
It will soon enough. I can't believe you. You have limited supplies and you won't eat your vegetables. Oh, question. I've got an idea.
Go on.
Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone?
Meaning? Also, sie wollen mehr anfordern?
I was just wondering if it was possible to make a request. If I could, I would just go out on a shopping trip.
Perish the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from.
Right. Jetzt müssen die immer noch auslöschen.
Ja. Krass, dass sie wirklich damit davon kommen einfach.
Ja. Say, also ich sagte, da kommt noch was vielleicht. Also,
ja, ich hoffe,
normalerweise in Fata Morgana ist es so zum Beispiel Maria, die shot dead.
Ja, es war nur die eigentlich, die so.
Ich überleg mal, Yukimasa, was ist denn Yukimasa?
Ja, Yukimasa?
Das Biest halt.
Ja, aber der ist doch chillig. Was hat er denn falsch gemacht? Ne, er hat das ganze Dorf abgeschlachtet. Weil sie weiche Kerl getötet haben.
Ja, stimmt, das ja, scheiße, man. Fucking villages. Ha! Say, are you saying that out of concern for...
Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night. And I'm not interested in throwing more salmons to the lake.
You know, you're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing.
Back to your question about the delivery. Yes, you can. I haven't made any requests recently, but you can write what you want on a sheet of parchment, or if you don't have any, something similar. Put it in the box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive with the next package. Why? Is there something you need?
Warum ändert dann mich nicht die Request, dass sie ihm keine Parsnips mehr bringen, wenn die nicht ist?
Ja, er ist halt dumm.
Hat keinen Bock. Yeah, I was hoping to increase our selection of vegetables. While I'm at it, if possible. Actually, that's a secret.
Ah, a secret.
Hey, it's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right.
Die Craft irgendwas oder so, I don't know.
My relationship with Michel gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friend. He was still my master, but he allowed me almost complete freedom. And he didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. Though he was still not very talkative and oftentimes hard to read. Aber ich stimme dir zu mit dem Soundtrack, das ist ein bisschen so, so unentspannt kam. He at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself, though not in much detail. And anytime his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. Und ich denke auch, dass er dead ist. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live faking his death and sending him to a remote mansion.
Ah.
Let's see die Backstory da, bitte. I had never encountered Michel's brothers while at his family's estate. But assuming he was right and it was one of them who had given me the letter, they were likely our only allies at that house. I don't know what he is thinking.
I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years.
Michel had muttered, to which I had replied, have faith. It was better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. Denn Hoffnung.
Also jetzt Abend.
My being able to find renewed belief in the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have that faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. Ich habe auch gesehen, sie sind wieder am Lächeln. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling life, it was a humble, simple life with just the two of us. Humble. Stay humble, eh? But I wouldn't trade that light for anything. Some people might think it's dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help me with the cooking. I do honestly, but...
You trash!
This is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront to gastronomy. This is unearthly disgusting.
Get me better ingredients. Ja.
What?
Ich hab kein kleines.
Okay. What?
I'm not the bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients.
No. Oh, okay.
What white or him? If they were better, they would taste just fine boiled. It's not as bad as you claim. Besides,
You make a mockery of the culinary arts.
I've been eating this for years. I don't see the problem.
I've heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation.
It sounds like I need to put you to rest, Master.
I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Apropos Essen und Trinken,
Ja.
Freunde, ist der Harry.
Ja, wirklich, Sir Harold, ihr müsst richtig so immer schon Wasser trinken, denn das ist die Essenz der Lebensquelle. Ohne Wasser stirbt man.
Das ist richtig.
Ich meine, ist das richtig? Ja, Freunde, by the way, lasst gerne ein Like und ein Abo da, wenn es euch gefällt und...
Jetzt schon. Shameless.
Ja, nee, aber wenn es euch gefällt, lasst gerne ein Like und ein Abo da und... Ja, ich finde echt Fata Morgana wirklich sehr nice.
Vor allem, also ich fand schon davor sehr nice, aber seit so Dorf 4, der Reveal mit Du weißt schon, ne?
Die Wahrheit. Doch, wir haben die ersten Enden gespielt, das war einfach cool.
Ja.
Ja.
Hold the chair steady for me, will you? Das Haare schnell, oder wie? Nee, doch nicht, okay. I'm going to wipe down the top shelf.
I can handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on a chair.
Jetzt sind die Bücher, oder?
Ja, hier, das sind eben Bücher, ne?
Ja.
Aber wenn es dunkel ist, weil hier ist das Licht, jetzt seht auch die Bücher, aber davor sah es auch wie so Gefängnis.
It's not as simple as just running a rag over it. For practice. So let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than expected. I probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're going to want to hold your breath for this, master. Alright, here goes.
She's quite practiced. Is there any need for me to be holding the chair?
Au!
Nein, hat Achu.
Achso, ich?
Ja, genießt.
Achso. Wow.
Oh. Wow.
Hold the chair! I'm so sorry. I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master, your hand is...
Wow.
Your hand is, it's on my chest. Das ist Anime-Klassiker.
No way, der Fata Morgana diesen Anime-Trope hat, diesen Trash-Anime-Trope, so irgendwann fällt. It was an accident.
Right, it was. It's fine, really. It was my fault anyway.
It's not my fault.
It's completely, totally fine.
I can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward?
So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that.
That's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was. But that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. I am not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. It felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. I hardly even perceived it as a breast.
Mit fette Ratte. An obese rat? An obese rat?
What?
How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm going to rip every last hair off your head.
Oh ja, geht wirklich bald. Ah! Leave my hair out of this! Back to Chillige.
Say, Master. What did you do all this time all by yourself?
That's an exceedingly vague question.
Say, when you were really, really stupidly bored out of your mind, what did you do to keep yourself occupied?
Meditate?
In der Geisterwelt?
Also er hat Iro getroffen.
Und jetzt ist er hier. Just how many times have you reached enlightenment?
I sometimes play chess too. Against who?
Okay.
Er macht so wie die Witch.
Natürlich, er ist die ganze Zeit hier, 10 Jahre allein, aber er hat immer noch die Witch, mit der er talken kann sozusagen.
Deswegen ist er nicht crazy.
Mhm.
Weil...
Also er ist ein bisschen crazy schon so, weil die Witch nur mit der Witch...
Nein, aber 10 Jahre niemand
klar.
redet.
Und er spielt auch Chess mit der Witch vielleicht. Weißt
ja, sie sagt so dann mein Zug, Bauer, Zug, C3, so.
Ja, das kann ich mir vorstellen.
Oder macht so Mindgames einfach, mal schauen.
Vielleicht ist die Witch so wie Rührk. Also nicht unbedingt, dass er sie sehen kann, aber er hört sie.
You perceive the voice.
Chess, wait by yourself?
Yes. I imagine how an opponent might react to my moves and play the other side that way.
Glaube ich dir nicht. That's kind of depressing to think about. How about this, Master? Play a game against me.
Oh, für so Geld könnten wir jetzt selber spielen, ne?
Oh ja.
Aber das hilft nicht. Do you know the rules?
You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with trends and know all sorts of games.
Oh ho!
Hey, prepare to meet your maker. Oh, es wäre cool, wenn ich das singen würde.
Ja. So, who was I supposed to prepare to meet again? Sie wurde gehandelt.
Come on, have a little mercy. You trounced me. One more time.
One more game, no more, no less.
One more game, no more, no less. I just wasn't at the top of my game. Und another one. I just can see.
Ja, schade. Ja, okay, das heißt, Michael ist krass oder die ist ass. When am I going to meet this maker?
Hops genug. What? How? When did you put me in checkmate?
One more game, no more, no less. One more game.
Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. Ah, my king. Please stop.
The one war... Sie haben geguckt. Aber natürlich. The one war Schach so ernst.
Yeah. Please
Never that
stop.
serious.
It was never that serious. Nah. Can't you just go a little bit easy?
You never asked me to go easy.
This isn't a game, this is slaughter. This is a one-sided massacre.
About this maker.
I'm looking right at him.
That was actually kind of fun.
No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair.
Such as... Hide and seek, sagt jetzt.
Oh, let's see. Oh, I know. Arm wrestling. Ja, er wäre so abgemagert oder wie?
Ja. Huh? Arm wrestling?
Yeah. You sit across from each other, put your elbows on the table, grab hands and see who can pin the other down.
Es gibt ja so einen Sport, da sind einfach so Leute, die machen so Arm wrestling, ne?
Ja.
Ich frage mich, ob es sowas als Anime gibt. Wahrscheinlich noch nicht. Who would ever willingly participate in such a primitive competition? Ja, dann Boxen. Komm her.
Not interested then? Or are you afraid you might lose?
Rage bait. Alright then. I can't imagine losing to a woman.
Okay, elbow on the table.
Jetzt bricht sie seinen Arm.
Start on my count. Ready, go! Victory! No reaction.
Ah, wir sehen so alle chilligen Orte.
Ja.
Ende da. Guck mal, wir sehen so alle.
Ah, ja.
Ah, nee. Oder?
Das sind jetzt auch False Memories, weil es gerade es läuft zu gut, zu fröhlich.
Ja, es war gut, nachdem sie Trash haben. Also sie haben einfach so Spaß, so irgendwelche Games. Also so wie eine Compilation sozusagen. Ziemlich cool. Ne?
Ja.
Ja, aber... Wie jetzt back zu Michael? With each passing day, it grew... Oh. Die Musik. Perfection. With each passing day, it grew less and less unusual having Giselle always at my side. I began more freely engaging in silliness, speaking my mind and showing emotion. Oh, Digga! Wir müssen echt mal gucken, wie wir das Shazam können, weil ich hab's nicht machen können, glaube ich.
Ja.
I could say her name, and Giselle would turn around and smile at me. And an unimaginable sight not long ago. Boah, Gänsehaut.
Mhm.
For 10 years I had lived alone.
Okay, dann.
Solitude had been my normal.
Das war doch alleine, also hat nicht so mit der Witch gespielt oder so.
Ja, sie whispers halt gehört so, aber naja. But that was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I would say good friends was probably the most apt. Time continued to press on, our relationship remaining relatively stable. Eventually, summer came, bringing with it the longest periods of sunlight I had experienced in many years. Then the leaves began falling from the trees. And before long, the world grew cold and dreary. Richtig viel Zeit, ne? So 6 Monate jetzt dann. That winter, the fireplace was never without a crackling blaze in its belly. The boiled wine we drank was undoubtedly middling and cheap. But she said with a smile,
I've never had wine this good before.
and though I didn't say anything, I felt the same way. Dun, dun. Boah, das Soundtrack. The sun set much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. Ja,
Maskin?
ja.
Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master?
Hier kann sie ja lesen. Ne? Aber trotzdem cool. Boah.
Vielleicht echt mein Lieblings-Soundtrack. I bet that's why true bards perform at pubs so they can be near the fire.
Or because there's ale. Drunkenness makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to the ears.
Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say,
Yes.
do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library?
Please, don't tell me you're bringing the obese rat incident back up. Incident.
No, not that. Before that. Before we could actually talk to each other.
Also erste Library. Ne?
I believe I suggested we read something together if you ever felt the inclination.
You might have. I can't say I remember.
Are you sure about that? You turned down my proposal saying I was wasting my time. But look, it actually happened. Even if you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this one moment would come. I was for the most part focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. But to be honest, I didn't expect there would ever actually come a time we would sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book. You never know how things might pan out.
I actually do remember. I remember how I tried to push her away, how much I mistrusted her. I was nothing but hostile towards her. Toward her. People change. And perhaps, if they can, so can the future. Maybe I can hope that, like our friendship, there's a chance the future might take a turn for the better.
Is something the matter?
I don't much care for hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals, ja, ich war hypothetischen Ding. But if by some chance I were someday to be able to return to that house, should that time come, that house is home to her nightmares, even if it didn't happen until after my father was gone. It wouldn't erase what he had done to her there. She acts like nothing's wrong though. I don't know. Have her wounds healed, or do they still remain?
Should that time come?
Should that time come, if that day comes, I will do what I can to ensure you have a comfortable life in the city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I can work something out.
I see. Thank you very much.
But if you would be comfortable doing so, I would be pleased if you were to join me. I mean as a servant.
As a servant.
Yes, a servant. We're short on hands.
I see. Servant.
Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, as a servant. Yo.
Alright, sure. I think I will.
Boah, guck dich. Dieses Lächeln an.
Mhm.
Mach mal bitte.
I would like to accompany you, must. How exciting. I'm sure a wonderful future awaits us.
I pray so.
Now, back to the story. I believe we had just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess.
Das ist so eine Princess Possession Story.
Mhm.
Mario.
I bet he was a big, buff, muscular knight.
Let's not talk about how muscular he was.
Weil Michel so abgemagert ist.
She let out a gentle laugh. Der Delay. Bevor du das Bild.
Ja, ich hab nicht gecheckt, was du willst.
So. And I thought I smelled something sweet on her breath. Was it her skin? Or perhaps just my imagination? I had no way of knowing. We sat so close, even the slightest shift seemed sufficient to allow me to hear the sound of her heartbeat, causing mine to accelerate. Curiosities flooded in my mind. What might she be thinking right now? What does she think about me? And as much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment. I had just briefly lost my way. Though I tried to convince myself otherwise, it was all in vain. When had my pulse gotten so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When? How? Why was this happening to me? I thought I had already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. Gift, as it's called, by the way. Before long, winter retreated and our second spring came to take its place. A full year had passed since we had resumed living together, and I don't think it was my imagination that this year felt much warmer than last. Spring seemed to have arrived a bit earlier than in previous years. One night, when the breeze carried on it a pleasant residual warmth, Giselle escorted me out to the garden. By the way, die Bastarde im Village konnten wirklich ein Jahr Zeit so leben. Also wahrscheinlich wurden sie vom Lord so verknechtet mit
Ja,
den Texten,
geil.
aber trotzdem, die dürfen noch leben, die Bastarde. Ja, Freunde, an der Stelle dann beenden wir dieses Let's Play. Nächstes Mal, wie die im Garten so ein bisschen chillen und genießen die Luft und so, gucken wir dann. Wir gucken wir dann da. Ach, Digga, Freunde, Digga. Junge. Ja, Freunde, lasst gerne ein Abo da, checken eure Parts, Plays, Videos, Streams ab. Es macht echt Spaß zu spielen, Freunde. Endlich mal ein bisschen Chill-Time, aber so wie man Fata Morgana kennt, passiert irgendeine Scheiße, Digga, das ist Tragödie.
Wenn es zu gut läuft, dann muss irgendwas schief laufen.
Ja, aber das ist normalerweise eigentlich immer so.
Ja.
Also auch an sich.
Normalerweise immer.
Hab ich gesagt?
Ja.
Ja, egal. Ist ja auch richtig. Ja, Freunde, lasst gerne ein Abo checken, der Parts, Plays, Videos, was ich nicht hab. Und ey, geil! Das Sonntag auch. Und dann, Freunde, wieder schauen und
Reingehauen.
ciao!